Hello, I'm James Hopkins, and I have chosen to do my parable on the unforgiving servant, which is found in Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 through 35. The parable begins with a question from Peter to Jesus. He says, "Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? And Jesus answers, "I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times, emphasizing that forgiveness should be limitless. To illustrate this point, Jesus tells a story about a king and his servants. In the setting of a royal kingdom, a king decides to settle accounts with his servants. One servant is brought before him which owes him an astronomical debt, 10,000 talents, a sum so large it could never realistically be repaid. Because the servant is unable to pay, the king orders that he, his wife, children, all he owns be sold to repay that debt. The servant falls to his knees and begs for patience, promising to repay everything. Moved by compassion, the king does more than give him time. He forgives the entire debt and sets the servant free. However, that same servant soon encounters a fellow servant who owes him a much smaller amount, 100 denarii. Rather than showing the same mercy he had received, he grabs the man and demands immediate payment. The fellow servant pleads for patience using nearly the same words, but the first servant refuses and has him thrown into prison until his debt is paid. Other servants witness this harsh behavior and report it to the king. The king, furious at the servant's lack of mercy, calls him back in. "You wicked servant," the king says, "I forgave you all the debt because you pleaded with me. Should you not also have that mercy on your fellow servant as I had that mercy on you?" In judgment, the king delivers the unforgiving servant to the jailers to be tortured until he can repay all that he owes. And Jesus ends the parable with a sobering conclusion. "So my heavenly Father will also do to you if each of you does not forgive your brothers from your heart." The message is clear. God expects us to show others the same mercy and forgiveness that He has extended to us. The parable of the unforgiving servant teaches us something really important about forgiveness. Jesus tells us that God forgives us for everything we've done, even though we don't deserve it. It's like we owe him a huge debt that we can never pay back. But when we come to him honest and ask for help, he completely lets it go. But here's the thing. God doesn't forgive us so we can just move on and be done. He wants us to take the same forgiveness and show it to others. If we've been forgiven, we should forgive too. In the story, the king forgives a servant who owes him a giant amount of money, but then that servant turns around and refuses to give someone who owes him just a little bit. That makes the king really upset, and it should make us think. It's not right to accept forgiveness and then not offer it to someone else. Jesus is saying that forgiveness isn't a nice idea. It's something God expects from people who follow him. And it's not supposed to be fake. Real forgiveness has to come from the heart. If we don't forgive others but still expect God to forgive us, we've missed the whole point. God's grace is supposed to change us. It should affect how we treat people, especially when they hurt us. Jesus ends the story with a warning. If we don't forgive others, God won't forgive us. That might sound harsh, but it shows how serious he takes forgiveness. It's a big deal. Forgiving others is how we live out the love and mercy God has shown us. It's not easy, but it's part of what it means to truly follow him. And for my visual representation, I have drawn a picture of the scene of the king and the servant coming and pleading the king for forgiveness. And you'll notice on the bottom of the title I have written, "Forgiven but unchanged." Because in this picture it illustrates that although the king had forgiven the servant, inside of the servant's heart, he remained unchanged and he was not willing to forgive others. So I've written a modern day parable entitled "The Unforgiving Employee." Jordan worked at a high-tech company in Silicon Valley. He was a mid-level project manager, drowning in debt from a failed side hustle. One day, the CFO called him in. "Jordan," she said, "you've racked up over $10 million in unauthorized expenses through the corporate credit card. This is serious fraud." Jordan's heart dropped. "Please," he begged, "don't press charges. Just give me time. I'll find a way to pay it back. I'll sell my house, my car. Just please don't ruin me. The CFO paused, sighed, and said, you know what? I'm canceling your debt, all of it. Consider it wiped clean. Just don't make that mistake again. Jordan was stunned, grateful, relieved. He left her office overwhelmed by mercy. But that afternoon, while walking in the parking garage, he ran into his coworker Sam, a junior developer who had borrowed $1,200 from him a month ago to help cover rent. Hey, Sam, Jordan said. You got that money you owe me? Sam looked uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. I'm short again this month. Can I give you half and pay the rest next payday? Jordan's face turned red. Absolutely not. You've had plenty of time. Then in front of all the other employees, he shouted, if you don't pay me now, I am reporting this to HR and illegal. You'll be suspended until it's resolved. Sam begged him, but Jordan wouldn't budge. He filed a complaint and got Sam written up. When word got around the office, the CFO heard what had happened. She called Jordan back in. You know, Jordan, I gave you millions of dollars this morning, she said, disappointed, and you couldn't forgive a fellow employee barely over 1,000. She stood, looked him in the eye, and said, I've changed my mind. Your debt is reinstated. You'll be hearing from our attorneys. And Jordan was escorted out of the building. In our modern world, forgiveness still matters deeply. At work, in relationships and families, God's grace is as relevant as ever. We are all like Jordan. We have been given a ridiculous amount of mercy, yet too often we hold petty grudges, demanding payback for small offenses. Jesus' message cuts through the culture and time. If we've truly experienced grace, we must live it out. The gospel isn't just ancient wisdom. It's a call to real-world change today. So what does this parable teach us about right and wrong, about the ethics? I've got 4 brief little lessons that can be learned. Number 1, if you've been forgiven, forgive others. We all mess up. We all need grace sometimes. If someone gives you a second chance, it's only fair that you do the same to them as well. Number 2, don't be a hypocrite. The man wanted kindness for himself, but was harsh to someone else. That's not how it works. Treat others the way that you would want to be treated. Number 3, use your power kindly. If you're in a better spot with money, resources, influence, or don't use it to push others down. Use what you have to help, not to control and not to punish. And number 4, look out for others. In the story, other people noticed the unfairness and told the boss. That shows we all have a role in speaking up when something isn't right. How can we use these lessons today? And for instance, when we talk about homelessness, there's a lot of people who judge homeless people. They say they've made bad choices, they're lazy, they should go and get a job. But the truth is, most of these people without homes are struggling with things that we don't see. Mental health, trauma, medical bills, or just plain bad luck. So how should we respond to this? Show mercy, not judgment. Don't look down on people. Be kind. Everyone has a story. Maybe they just need one person to believe in them. Use what you have to help. Do you got money? Do we have time? Do you have a voice? Use it. Give to shelters, volunteer, or support policies that make housing more affordable. Treat people like people. Say hi. Ask their name. Look them in the eye. Treat them like they matter, because they do. Speak up. If you see someone being treated unfairly, don't stay silent. We're stronger when we care for each other. And the bottom line from this parable, Jesus forgave us way more than we'll ever have to forgive someone else. So why would we hold grudges or turn our backs on people who need help? This parable isn't just a cool Bible story. It's a reminder that kindness and mercy and fairness still matter today, maybe now more than ever. May God bless you, and thank you for listening.